Dear colleagues, dear fellow journalists, I welcome you at the platform of the International Multimedia Press Center, Russia Today. Right now, we will have a press conference devoted to the Independence Day of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, which we celebrate on the 14th of August. And right now, we will have a press conference of the preliminary potential Mr. Ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Mr. Faisal Niaz Tirmizi. Mr. Ambassador, first of all, I would like to congratulate you on the Independence Day. Pakistan is celebrating Independence Day. What does this day mean for Pakistani people today? How do you celebrate it here in Russia?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this, your esteemed organization. The Independence Day is a very special day for all Pakistanis all across the world, and for me as well. As you're aware that there are 260 million Pakistanis, which is now the fourth biggest countries in terms of population. 80 years ago, on the 14th of August, Pakistan emerged as an independent country across the world. And it was an effort because after being under the British rules for over 90 years, it was an opportunity for the people of Pakistan to decide their future, their economic future, their political future, their social future. And that is what it signifies. If you read the history of subcontinent, because India was a subcontinent, the Britishers had taken over power from the Mughals. And if you look at the historically, when the Britishers sent the first envoy to the court of Emperor Jahangir, who was the father of the famous creator of Taj Mahal, it took him 3 years for the British ambassador to get an audience of Emperor Jahangir, because at that time, the Mughal India was 28% of the global GNP. It was what modern US is. So when the Britishers colonized us, it was a great opportunity for us to break the shackles of foreign rulers and to define our future, where we believe that the people will be able to define their destiny, their economic destiny, social destiny, and political destiny themselves. So it is a very special day for us. It has been 80 years since we got independence. And Pakistan has made a mark in terms of economy, in terms of defense, in terms of diplomacy, in terms of sports, in terms of tourism. In terms of culture, yesterday we had a celebration of the 80th Independence Day of Pakistan, and the most famous hyper folk band performed in Moscow, and they will be performing for the whole public today. So that's what Pakistan symbolizes: hope, aspiration, energy, and positivism. Unlike many countries which believe to define their foreign policy through force or diplomacy, Pakistan believes in diplomacy, dialogue, cultural harmony, and understanding.
Большое спасибо. Это, конечно,
Thank you so much. It is an honor for us that before such an important, significant day of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, you came to us to talk to journalists. And I would like to start a Q&A session, sessions of questions and answers. You mentioned about diplomacy. Diplomatic relations between our countries were established in 1948. And we celebrate almost 80 years of official cooperation. How would you characterize the way of our relations between Russia and Pakistan? And can we say that today we have warm stage of our relations?
Relationship is defined by mutual trust, cooperation, warm understanding. I am very happy to note that during my I'll be completing a year this October, I have seen a multifarious engagement with the Russian Federation. Be that at government-to-government level, we've had Intergovernmental Commission in Islamabad last November, and we will have it this November in Moscow or in Russia. We've had a series of dialogue in terms of defense, counterterrorism, nuclear non-proliferation. The foreign minister of Pakistan had a visit to Moscow, and of course, the two foreign ministers met in Manila a couple of weeks ago. The Prime Minister of Pakistan was scheduled to arrive in Moscow on the 3rd of March, and half the delegation was already here. But then what happened in the Gulf, that changed the circumstances. So the relationship is of trust, cooperation, but important thing is that despite everything, it lacks that strong economic and commercial underpinnings. Bilateral trade between the two countries was $1 billion last year. It is insignificant. I think so. The potential is much more. Then we need to have regular flights connections between the Russian Federation and Pakistan. And because I've seen the importance of logistic and flight connections which encourage people to people, business to business, culture to culture contacts between the two countries. And thirdly, we believe that if we have trade connections, cultural understanding between the people of both countries, it will automatically enhance relationship. When I was posted in Moscow 31 years ago, we had 2 to 3 flights a week. Right now, we don't have a single direct flight. So we have to have, I went to Irkutsk 2 weeks ago, and they told me that 4 million people use that airport every year. A lot of Pakistani tourist delegations come to Russian Federation. I've asked them that besides visiting Moscow and St. Petersburg, they should visit Irkutsk, Sochi, Vladivostok, Yakutia, because Russia is a continent by itself. So that is what I'm really working on, to make it a real connection. If you come, most of you are most invited to attend the celebrations today and on the 14th in the embassy at 11 a.m. You will see culturally Pakistan has so much to offer. Pakistan is at the crossroad of South Asia, West Asia, and Central Asia. It has an historical place. I want Russians to explore the rich cultural diversity of Pakistan, and I want Pakistanis to explore the rich cultural diversity of Russia. As I say, Pakistan is a product of the Indus River Valley civilization, which is amongst the 4 oldest civilizations of the world, including China, Egypt, and Iraq. But like Pakistan is the product of the Indus Valley civilization, Russia is a product of Don River, of Volga River, of Lena River. So there's so much we have. We share the same geographical space, and we have to have more interaction. And that is something very important. It's people to people, business to business, culture to culture. At present, only 1,300 Pakistani students are studying here. I want this number to be at least 13,000. And believe me, if a person studies and lives in a culture, he or she has an impact for the rest of his life. Similarly, I would encourage Russian students to come and study in Pakistan. I want Russian tourists to come to Pakistan.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Indeed, it is a very interesting place. And when I was getting ready for our conversation today, I checked and learned about sites, places of interest in Pakistan. It's a very interesting country in order to learn more about it and to meet new culture. Thank you so much for your answer, and you mentioned about a visit of Prime Minister of Pakistan, which unfortunately couldn't take place in March. Nevertheless, as far as I know, we are expecting His Excellency Prime Minister in Russia, and during these visits, a lot of documents are scheduled to be signed. What are you expecting from this visit, and what directions of joint work you will bring on a new level?
Well, as I said, Pak's Prime Minister was expected to visit Russia on the 3rd of March. And we are already in touch with the Russian Foreign Office, and we are exchanging sets of dates. So I'm very happy to announce that Prime Minister of Pakistan will visit Russia during the last half of this year. So we are working on the dates. The Prime Minister has already met President Vladimir Putin 4 or 5 times in different places during the multilateral forum. And he is really looking forward to come and visit Russia. He has been a regular visitor to the Soviet Union from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And when I was giving a briefing on the visit, there were things that he was asking that I was surprised about his deep knowledge and understanding of Russia, Russian history, and Russian culture. There are a lot of agreements that have to be signed, and we have finalized them. There's a plan of work for economic cooperation between 2025 to 30. And then there are a lot of agreements on cooperation in social, cultural, information fields. So there are a host of agreements that have already been finalized, and we are working on that. Prime Minister will also be bringing in his business delegation because, as I said, he believes that business to business, people to people, culture to culture contact is very important. Just before the start of the visit, he has approved sending a grade 2-3 bands to Russia. So when he comes here, he'll bring a cultural content as well. So it will be one thing that the Prime Minister is really looking forward to. He has extensive close cooperation with President Putin, whom he holds in the highest esteem, because he considers him as one of the statesmen who has not only played a great role in Russia, but also in regional and in global politics. So we are fully prepared for the visit, and we are looking forward, because this is something very important. Any visit, high-level visit from Russia to Pakistan as well, because this year Pakistan will be assuming the chair of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So next year, when we hold the summit of the Shanghai Cooperation, we're expecting a visit of President Putin, and before that, we are expecting a bilateral visit by President Putin to Pakistan as well. So there's so many fields that we are already working in. And when I was posted here, the Prime Minister had asked me that he had specially chosen me for this job. He said, because this is a very important relationship for Pakistan. And he said, I expect you to increase the level of trade, human interaction, business interaction, cultural interaction, and education exchange with the Russian Federation.
Спасибо большое. Конечно.
Thank you so much. We are expecting deepening of cooperation between Russia and Pakistan as a result of the visit of His Excellency Prime Minister. And you mentioned cultural, social directions of work. Especially me as a journalist, it is interesting to follow information cooperation, which you have also mentioned. And I would like now to move to particular projects of cooperation between Russia and Pakistan. In particular, one of the joint project, it is rehabilitation of the steel mill in Karachi, which was built during Soviet Union time. Could you please tell more details about this aspect of cooperation, about rehabilitation of steel mill? On which stage is this project, and why is it important for the development of the country?
This was a gift from the Soviet Union to Pakistan in the 80s. That was the first steel mills set up in Pakistan in the 70s and the 80s. In fact, one of my cousins was sent to study metallurgy in Donetsk in the early 70s because he was one of those people. And yesterday I got a photograph of his stay during his time in that part of the world. So the technical delegation is already in Pakistan. They have visited, they've carried out a detailed technical audit of the steel mills, because when the Prime Minister had decided that he wants to refurbish the steel mills, we had asked for contracts from all over the world. But it was a decision by the Prime Minister that since it was set up by Russia, it has to be refurbished by Russia as well. So we are very happy that we have given a contract to a Russian firm, which has sent a detailed technical team to Pakistan. And now they are already in contact, and we will start the rehabilitation work in the next 12 to 18 months. So the Prime Minister is himself closely following, because Prime Minister himself is a person who has dealt with steel. That is something very close to him. But besides the steel mill, Russia had also set up many power plants in Pakistan. So and now we are also looking for cooperation with Russia in setting up power plants in Pakistan, steel mills. There's also an opportunity of Russian pharmaceutical companies will be setting up a plant in Pakistan. So that is the kind of cooperation that we are really working on with Russia. It has to be multifaceted. Similarly, Pakistan is one of the major buyer of wheat and pulses from Russia. And in turn, we export a lot of surgical goods, footballs. You know, footballs of the last 10 World Cup are manufactured in Pakistan. And not many of you will be aware that those factories which are producing footballs, they have sent their workers in a factory in Russia. So they are working in Russia as well, and they are producing footballs for all the premium league in Russia. Then Pakistan is an exporter of the pink salt, which is used in food and in the saunas. That is the only place in the world, and it was discovered by Alexander the Great in 326. That is the biggest salt mine, pig salt mine in the world. So there's so many things that we can cooperate in. So metallurgy is one thing that it is going on full thrust. I will be getting a briefing by the team because they have come back from Pakistan next week. So because we want to make significant gains before the arrival of the Prime Minister to Pakistan, because that is one thing, that and the pharmaceutical plants are two things that Prime Minister is supervising very closely, and he has designated our Minister for Industries to supervise these projects. So we are at it.
Большое спасибо. Направлений.
Thank you so much. Indeed, there are many directions, and we have a lot of things for cooperation. Dear colleagues, before we give an opportunity to give a question, to ask a question, we would like to continue the topic of economic cooperation. You have already mentioned about plans to sign economic roadmap till 2030, till 2030 between our countries. We see that turnover between our countries is increasing. Of course, mutual simplification of visa regime is being discussed. Energy and transport projects are being developed. You also mentioned them. Which directions of cooperation can you see as priority ones? In particular, as far as we know, Pakistan started negotiations about joining Eurasian Economic Union within the agreement about the free trade. On which stage is this process, and what perspectives do you see for signing this agreement?
I'm very happy to report that the feasibility studies of Pakistan joining the free trade agreement with Eurasian Economic Union has been finalized. And proper negotiations will start from the first week of January 2027. So it will take around anywhere between 6 to 18 months to finalize that project. That is fundamental because historically, we've always had trading relationship with Russia historically, because if you look at it, our samovar is something that is part of our culture as it is from Russia. We got it from Russia. Pulao is something that we got it from Central Asia, like the Russians did. So there's so many things. So trade is something very important that Eurasian Economic Union would be the real game changer in increasing trade between two countries. Of course, at present, trade is being conducted through the Black Sea route and the Vladivostok route. But I believe we are landlocked countries. So railway connections, road connections, as well as sea connections are very important. I've been visiting extensively Siberia, and a lot of people ask me why. I said once Pakistan joins the free trade agreement with the Eurasian Economic Union, our goods are already entering Kyrgyzstan via China, and they will enter, of course, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, from Afghanistan and from Iran. So we have to have road connections. I went to Dagestan and Chechnya a couple of months ago, and I said the distance between Islamabad and Chechnya or Islamabad or Omsk is very close. And I see in my times that we will have railway transport and road transport between the two countries. I see a time when people from Minsk, Moscow, Murmansk will travel by car and road to Islamabad, Karachi, Lahore, and Gwadar. And similarly, people from Gwadar, Karachi, Quetta, Islamabad, Lahore will travel by road and by railway to Murmansk, Moscow, Minsk. So that is the thing that we are really working on. These are important connections to be set up between the two countries. Because once you have the logistics, visa regime is one thing that we have signed an agreement in Bishkek 2 months ago between the two interior ministers. This would greatly facilitate visas. As I said, only 1,300 Pakistani students are studying in Russia. I want these numbers to be 13,000 at least. 30,000 Pakistani students are studying in China. 10,000 in US. 15,000 in UK. I want this kind of number with the Russian Federation as well. And once you have studied here, those relationship and those friendship continue for the rest of your life. And for that, you have to have an easy visa regime. You have to have logistical connections by air, by road, as well as by train. Russia has one of the best railway networks. And I've traveled extensively in Russian trails, not even now, even way back in the 1990s. So I am looking forward, and that's what I'm working on. Railway connections, road connections, and air connections. But to have that, first thing is the easy visa regime. All Russians can get a visa for Pakistan online. So I hope after signing this agreement, Pakistani citizens will also get visas online from Russia. Pakistanis have played a critical role in establishing the miracle of the Gulf. At present, 6 million Pakistanis work and live in Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman. And we have set up their banking systems, their telecommunication setup, their defense forces. So we can play the same role with Russia. We have the manpower, a young manpower. To 60 million people, 68% of them are under 60 years old. So that could be a great engine of drivers between the two countries and the two economies. Energy and transport is again very important. And transport, as I said, we have to have railway connections, road connections. And I see a time in 3-4 days, people from Islamabad would be able to, in 3 days and 2 days, will be able to come to Derbent, or they will be able to enter Omsk or Tomsk, which are right next to Kazakhstan. And similarly, people from Moscow, Omsk, Tomsk, Dagestan, Derbent, Makhachkala, Grozny would be able to travel to Pakistan as well. So these are the connections that I really want to work on.
Спасибо вам большое. Отдельное
Thank you. Thank you so much, and special thanks to the attention to geography of the Russian Federation, that you show interest in interaction between regions of Pakistan and regions of the Russian Federation, because we are sure that there is potential for Northern Caucasus, for Siberia. There is a great potential. Dear colleagues, now we start the session of questions and answers. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. So let me ask one question which we received online. The Russian Federation and Pakistan has common values. As you know, 2026, it is a year of the unity of peoples, and Pakistan is famous as a multinational, multi-confessional country. Please tell me how principle of the peaceful coexistence is maintained in Pakistan, and what steps are made, and what experience can be shared by Pakistan with the Russian Federation and vice versa.
That Pakistan shares with the Russian are common values. Hospitality, food, cultural richness, and multi-ethnic, multilingual nationalities. Pakistan is also an amalgamation of 7 big ethnic groups, 7 different languages, and many other dialects like Russia. So this is something that I am really working on because the common values, that's what I say, that in Russia, family is very important. In Pakistan, family is very important. One thing I've studied and worked in many countries, and you see in many cultures, it's all individual. But in Russia, if you go to a restaurant, you see 3 generations sitting together. That is something common in Pakistan as well. Our 3 generations sit together, we eat together, and we invite friends. That's what I tell. Same with Russia. When we open our homes, we not only open our homes, we open our hearts. And I have found the same warmth in Russia as well. So if you get to know the people, they not only open their homes, they open their hearts, and they're the most hospitable people. Recently, a lot of Russian journalists went to Pakistan, and I want more people to travel to Pakistan to experience the warmth and hospitality of Pakistan. And I can say about the same of Russia. I know so many people who have traveled to Russia. They say that once they get to know the Russian people, it is an eye-opening for them. One of the very good comment was given by a traveler from Pakistan, and he met a Russian and he shared with me. And it's true with Pakistanis as well. He said Russians are like the watermelon. Hard from outside, but soft from inside. So that is something very important. And to enter the heart, it is the food, human contact, culture, friendship. That is what really matters. That is true of Pakistan as well. 2 countries which are wrongly portrayed in international media in Pakistan and Russia. And we can change that misperception about each other through more people-to-people contact, because we share the same common values of respect of other religions. Because Pakistan, not many people know, Hinduism started on the backs of River Indus. Vedas were written there. Buddhism went to China and rest of the world from Taxila, which is 30 kilometers north of Islamabad. Alexander the Great came to Pakistan and made the Gandhara civilization, which is a fusion of Buddhist, Hindu, and Greek culture. Muslims came from the Arabia and Central Asia in the 7th and 10th century. The apostles of Christ came to what is Pakistan. So there's a big presence of Christians community in Pakistan. I went to a Christian school I did my high school from Christian school. Mm-hmm. All my teachers were Christian. 30% of my classmates were Christians. So Pakistan is an inclusive society in terms of religion, in terms of value system, in terms of languages. Like in Russia, in Pakistan, everyone speaks 3-4 languages because the national language, Urdu, which is, by the way, the third most spoken language in the world if you combine it with Hindi. After the first is English right now, mm-hmm. then is Chinese, and then Urdu, Hindi. So, but only 7% of people of Pakistan, it's their mother tongue. But we all speak that language. We all speak our own mother tongue, and then we speak English. So Pakistan is a multi-ethnic, multicultural, multilingual society. And that is one thing that common values, because I have worked in 8 countries of the world. I've studied in 4 countries of the world. I've traveled over 100 countries. We are all humans. And there is goodness in every value, in every system. And that is the strength of Russia and Pakistan. And that's what we have to work on.
Большое спасибо.
Thank you so much. Honestly speaking, I don't often hear such pleasant words about our culture, civilization, and I see that indeed we have lots of things in common despite external diversities. So, dear colleagues, do you have any questions? If you don't have any questions, I will ask the question which we received online. As you said, Mr. Ambassador, that Pakistan has a unique geography location. And as we see now, not only geography, but the country maintains working relations at the same time with Iran, with the United States, and with the key states in the region. And take into consideration the situation around Iran, USA, Israel, how do you assess the role of Pakistan as a platform for international negotiations, and how can Pakistan contribute to de-escalation and maintaining dialogue between countries?
As I said, Pakistan has always believed in dialogue. This was Pakistan's honest opinion to the Americans when they entered Afghanistan in 2001. We told them that they will not win the war. And this was our honest opinion to them, that Iran is a great country with a great civilization. It's a country of 90 million people, 1.8 million square kilometers. It cannot be occupied through air campaign. And Pakistan is one country which is respected and accepted both by the United States as well as the Islamic Republic of Iran. We have, and despite everything, for the first time in 47 years, Pakistan was able to bring the Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States on a negotiating table. It had not happened in the last 47 years. And due to negotiations in Switzerland, we reached an agreement with them. There have been some issues in that peace process, but we are still at it. As we talk, the Interior Minister of Pakistan is in Tehran right now. Mm-hmm. And we are constantly in touch with the Americans as well, because our biggest assessment was that in case this conflict escalates, it will not only have a regional issue, it will have international repercussions. As I said, 6 million Pakistanis live and work in the Gulf region. 22% of the world oil and gas, LNG comes from the Gulf region. Same is true with fertilizers. And most of the cities in the Gulf region are dependent on the desalination of water. Had that conflict escalated, there would have been a direct attack on the desalination plants on both sides. So that's what Pakistan managed to stop. We are still in contact with our friends both in Washington and in Tehran. And Pakistan is quite hopeful because Pakistan has played the same role in the independence of Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco. If you go to the capitals of these three countries, you will find main highways named after a foreign minister. Because we played a role in the independence of all these countries. We played a similar role in the Palestinian cause. We played a similar role in the Afghan peace process, both with the Soviets as well as with the Americans. Pakistan was an honest broker. So Pakistan as a country, it's a big country, it's a powerful country, but we believe things cannot be settled by force. They have to be reached with a negotiated settlement. So that's what we have been doing ourselves. And we believe in peace, dialogue, and understanding, because we are all the same human beings. We can have different languages, we can have different religions, we can have different values, but our core is the same all over the world. And that has been the true understanding of Pakistan, and we are very happy that there are things that Pakistan has been doing openly and under diplomatically, which is not in the public view, just to make sure that the conflict between the Islamic Republic of Iran and the US does not escalate.
Спасибо вам большое, уважаемые коллеги.
Thank you so much, dear colleagues. Thank you. I suggest that in conclusion of our dialogue, to come back to the reason why we started our today dialogue, the Independence Day of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. You mentioned that in the Russian Federation there are a lot of representatives of Pakistani population. I can suggest that you can use our session and you can address to your people in Russia, and you can share a couple of warm words as for Independence Day for Pakistani people. So you can address to Pakistani people now during our live session.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Rossiya Segodnya and Sputnik, and I would like to congratulate all Pakistanis living and working in the Russian Federation on the 80th Independence Day of Pakistan. Today we are holding a concert in Moscow at 6:30. You're all cordially invited, not only along with your friends, especially Russian friends and their families. And of course, on the 14th of August at 11 a.m., there will be again a concert and a dance and Independence Day celebration in the Embassy of Pakistan. Not only you, your families, your Russian friends and foreigner friends are cordially invited. And always remember that each one of you is an ambassador of Pakistan. You're representing your value system, your culture, and that has been a strength of Pakistan. And I believe the relationship between the Russian Federation and Pakistan will grow in the years to come. And each one of you, individually and collectively, will play a role in making it into a reality. Pakistan, Rusi Dosti Zindabad.
Спасибо большое за замечательные, добрые.
Thank you so much for your kind, warm words, for your speech. Let me repeat that it's an honor to welcome you at the Press Center of Russia today. And dear colleagues, we celebrate you with the state holiday of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Independence Day. We are happy to see you, and dear Mr. Ambassador, we are happy to welcome you personally in our platform. See you next time. Thank you so much.
Спасибо вам большое.